Welcome into the show, everybody. Mark Farzetta here with the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Jeff Kerr of Jacob Sports Media will be joining the program, as well as from CBSSports.com. You might remember Jeff from a little nugget or two that he was able to put out there yesterday regarding Jalen Hurts. We will talk to him about that nugget. Jalen Hurts, fourth quarter and overtime this season, 28 of 38, 73.7% completion percentage, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, 120. It's pretty good nugget. All right, it's some good things to know about Jalen Hurts, and Jeff Kerr will be joining us coming up in just a moment to talk all things Jalen Hurts and where the Eagles go from here after their bounce-back victory against the Indianapolis Colts. Also, tonight, Ben Simmons makes his return to South Philadelphia for a 7:30 tip-off with the 76ers. Joel Embiid not playing. Tobias Harris most likely not playing. Tyrese Maxey not playing. James Harden not playing. So is it even Ben Simmons' return? Yes, it is. I understand that the outcome for tonight does not look particularly great for the 76ers, being that they're missing a lot of their starters. Okay, a lot of their starters. It's not like PJ Tucker's going to be leading this team to a victory or anything like that tonight, unfortunately. However, this isn't about the team tonight. This is about you, Philadelphia. This is about you and how you respond to Ben Simmons, because here's what we're going to do tonight as a city. We're going to make national news. We're going to make national headlines. And even though we were right about Ben Simmons, and it's been proving tenfold that we were right as a city, as a fan base about Ben Simmons. Oh, the Philly fans, they boo Ben Simmons. Yeah, we're going to do that. That's going to happen tonight. That's going to happen. He's going to get booed. It's going to be a venomous boo. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it is most likely going to be the most thunderous, venomous boo that we have ever unleashed upon anyone, period. Will there be projectiles? No. I'm going to say that we're not going to go projectiles. We're not going to go and stoop to that level. No. But just in terms of a thunderous boo that will rattle the roof of the Wells Fargo Center tonight, that's definitely going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. And you know, by right, it should. I don't look at Ben Simmons any other way than when he walked away from Philadelphia, when they traded him to the Nets, when he showed up in practice and he said he didn't feel like going through the motions, and Doc was a big old jerk and it threw him out of practice and all that stuff. Doc Rivers did Ben Simmons a favor that day, that he threw him out of practice by telling him he needed to get involved in a defensive drill, and he was accused of having his cell phone in his pocket. It was his jersey. Everyone, I think we should know that by now, just to have the facts straight. But Doc Rivers did Ben Simmons a favor that day, because if you remember, and this is a question that it will rattle around in my brain until the end of time, Ben Simmons was supposed to have a media session that day after practice. Because he was sent home, we never got our crack at Ben Simmons as a media, as a fan base after that practice. I wonder what would have been said. Whatever would have been said would have been along the lines of excuses, where he's at. Probably whatever he would have said would have been something that echoed through eternity here in Philadelphia when it comes to all-time classic press conference. Not that it would have probably been at the level of a practice. We're talking about practice. But if you remember, after that practice, Joel Embiid came and said, and I don't care about that guy. I don't care about that guy. And if that's what Joel Embiid had to say after that practice, I can't imagine what Ben Simmons would have had to say. Maybe it would have been monotone. Maybe it would have been nothing much. But whatever it would have been, it would have lived on in infamy in our brains. And it turned out he never had a press conference as a 76er again. So we'll get into that more a little bit coming up in just a second. Like I said, Jeff Kerr is going to be joining us from CBS Sports and Jacob Media in just a second to talk all things Eagles. But first, Nick Sirianni, I made a prediction, and I think I was way off. Nick Sirianni did address the team after the win against the Colts, and here's the way that went down in the Eagles locker room.
Great job, defense. They went down and drove the first time, and then nothing. You guys did it the entire game, and we were behind the entire game until the end. Until the end. Hey, I don't got a lot more to say. I'm pretty emotional. But I will tell you, what am I going to say? See you Wednesday! Great job. Happy for everyone in this room. That was a tough win.
Coach. Where you used to coach?
I used to coach here. Hey, those guys mean a lot to me, but not even close to what you guys mean to me. This is a special group. This is a special group. Let's pray. I appreciate that, guys. Let's pray.
I don't know what it is about the you bleeping did it. Hands in, let's pray. There's a comedian, I can't remember his name. He's tours with Sebastian Maniscalco, and he's hilarious. He talks about going to Catholic school and how the coaches were all like, those guys down there, they're going to bleep you up. They're going to bleep this and bleep that. And blah, 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 blah. Hands in, Hail Mary, full of grace. All right. But Nick Sirianni kind of pulled a little bit of that. Cool that he gets the game ball. Awesome. I don't know who it was back there. It's doing the Rob Schneider. You can do it from Waterboy. That's amazing. But definitely the emotions continued for the head coach after beating the team that fired his buddy in Frank Reich, and then also, of course, just in general, good to get the win against the team he used to coach for, regardless of previous relationship. But it's nice that that's what happened. They gave him the game ball, and he was obviously jazzed up and acknowledged the fact that he was pretty emotional after that game. It brought to being teary-eyed when he was at the podium talking about Frank Reich, as we know. The last play of the game, or the last play on the touchdown drive with Jalen Hurts, and the run up the middle was incredible. The 7-yard touchdown run with Jalen Hurts running behind Boston Scott. It was not Miles Sanders. I think I said Miles Sanders yesterday. But running behind Boston Scott into that end zone, opening up the offensive line, opening up the defensive line, rather, the way the offensive line did, was amazing. And I was wondering kind of where that play had been, because we hadn't seen that particular play in a minute. And it's something the Eagles have done in the past, and it's something the Eagles have done to great success in the past. And in watching that play unfold and watching it in the highlights and then listening to Nick Sirianni yesterday talk about it, it got me thinking, you got to be able to trust your offensive line, especially any team needs to trust their offensive line. This team, above all other teams, should trust their offensive line with the talent that they have in there, especially with a Hall of Fame center like Jason Kelce. You get a good blocking running back in there like Boston Scott, and you get a great running quarterback in there like you have with Jalen Hurts. That play is going to have success. Maybe not as nearly the amount of times as a quarterback sneak with first and goal from the 1-inch line or whatever, but that play is going to have a lot of success. All those things combined with the offensive line, having a lead runner like that with Boston Scott, and then having Jalen Hurts with his athleticism, you're going to score a touchdown. And the situation where the defense is expecting 7 yards out, you're not going to run a quarterback draw in that scenario. So you might have an opportunity here to get their defensive backs back closer to the goal line and open up that middle of the field a lot easier, considering you only had a nose tackle in that situation. They executed it to perfection, and it could not have worked better. What I didn't know going into this game yesterday and going into the press conference to Sunday and listening to Nick Sirianni in yesterday's press conference was a very specific meeting that the Eagles have to discuss specifically low red zone plays. Not just red zone, but low red zone plays. I said yesterday, find someone that loves you as much as Nick Sirianni loves Frank Reich. Well, how about this one? Find someone who loves you the way Nick Sirianni loves the, checks notes, low red zone meeting. Dave Zangaro, NBC Sports Philadelphia, teed him up for this question at yesterday's press conference, and here's what your head coach had to say about deciphering that game-winning play by Jalen Hurts at the towards the end of the fourth quarter there.
My favorite meeting, personally, of the week is the low red zone, tight red zone meeting. It's a long meeting. It's a grind where you're thinking about plays that are really – that you probably get about 5 to 7 of them, and that's a lot, right? But it's like the grimiest long meeting that we got of the week, and I always look forward to that so much, like, because there's just so many things that can happen, and we know that when you get down there, man, you set me up for a good question here. I don't know if you knew about this meeting. Well, you know, when you get down there, it's like, hey, these are 4-point plays, right? And so What I mean by that is like, hey, these plays, if you succeed at them, right, you score touchdowns. If you don't, you potentially kick field goals. Or in that situation, we would have went for it on 4th down and hopefully scored after that. But these are 4-point plays, and so it's just such a it's such an important part of the meeting and an important part in the week. So it's a group effort.
That answer, I'm barely exaggerating, went on for another 20 minutes. Like, it was just that about low red zone, tight red zone meetings. That's how much he loves that meeting. He just kept on going. Good for you, Nick, that you love the meeting. I'm glad you love the meeting. Let's get more plays. But it's funny because when you're in the low red zone, 9 times out of 10, you're just running quarterback sneaks anyway. But let's have a meeting about this. You know what I don't miss about a corporate world, about like going to an office and all that stuff, is the meetings. I don't miss the meetings. Somehow, magically, Nick really loves that meeting. But in those meetings, it's always weird that there's always one person that's just speaking to acknowledge that they're there, and they want the boss to know that they're trying really hard, and they want to you should be more like Jackson over there. Jackson really knows Jackson is really interested in the meeting. Whatever it is, it's working well for the Eagles. It's working well with Jalen Hurts, and it certainly help them win this game and bounce back from their loss against the Commanders. And it also helps the Eagles in a situation where they put their MVP, at least an MVP Campbell, their MVP, and then it also makes them an MVP candidate when it comes to Jalen Hurts and what he's able to do for his football team late in that game, because he purely took over the game in that fourth quarter. Let me tell you right now about my man Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia. For over 40 years, he's been in the love business in Philadelphia, helping people get engaged and fall in love. And Steven likes to offer his customers now the perfect price. Now, what's the perfect price, you ask? The perfect price is what no other jeweler offers. Other jewelers like to mark things way up just to mark them down a couple of bucks, make it feel like you won something. Well, at Steven Singer, you walk in knowing you're already the winner. So go into the other corner of 8th and Walnut or log on to IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. One place, one price, the perfect price, each and every day. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, let's talk to my man from Jacob Media and also CBS Sports, writer for the Eagles as well. Good Morning NFC East. You guys can watch it right after this program, as a matter of fact, on the Jacob Media YouTube channel. My man Jeff Kerr joins the show. Jeff, how you doing, my friend?
You know, Farzy, we talk about the TGIF crossovers when Steve Urkel was on. This is better. This is much better.
Hey, do you got any cheese? Anyway, that's amazing. That's a great poll, brother. That's a great poll. Look, we were talking about you yesterday. If your ears were ringing, here's why. I just love the numbers that you were able to pull on Jalen Hurts when it comes to how he's been performing in the most clutch situations. I don't know what could be more MVP than this, but I know one person hit me up and just asked, who's first in the NFL? If he's second with a 120.8, do you have any idea who first is in this category? Yeah, I figured it's either Tua or Patrick Mahomes. So yeah.
So here's one for you. Jalen Hurts had more fourth quarter touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes until Patrick Mahomes Sunday night when he had 2.
Yeah, and then they just throw to Travis Kelce all the live long day. How easy can that be?
Yeah, exactly. So this is my favorite thing about this stat. Someone said he doesn't throw enough in the fourth quarter. Those stats are skewed. I'm like, he has more fourth quarter passing attempts than Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that shut that guy up.
Yeah. I don't know what people want. I tell people this all the time. I have a comeback for everything. It may not be a good one, but I do have one.
I know a lot of people, and I think they're mostly people that didn't see Jalen Hurts improving. A lot of people that were already out on Jalen Hurts, people that wanted them to maybe draft a quarterback in this past draft and Jalen Hurts not be the starter anymore, whatever. I think those are the people that still doubt Jalen Hurts. Where do you have Jalen Hurts right now in terms of MVP candidacy?
So right now, I think Patrick Mahomes is 1. I mean, what he's doing is insane. And I think I always say it'd be hard for Patrick Mahomes to win MVP because he is Patrick Mahomes. But I think a lot of people around the league, including myself, I never doubted he'd be good without Tyreek Hill. I didn't think he'd be 2018 Patrick Mahomes good. I thought maybe, okay, he'd throw for about 4,500 yards, 45 touchdowns. That's hard for him to do to win MVP because he's Patrick Mahomes. But now you got Tua Tagovailoa in the mix, which again, I think what hurts his candidacy is he didn't play this week. So it's recency bias. We kind of forget. And you look at Jalen Hurts and his stats, and you're like, okay, it's not like Patrick Mahomes, it's not like Josh Allen, it's not like Tua Tagovailoa, but the Eagles are 9-1, and Jalen Hurts is a big reason why. So I think Jalen Hurts is the top 3. Like, if I had to vote, and I know they changed the MVP voting this year where you're actually going to have finalists, Jalen Hurts is definitely a finalist right now.
Okay. All right. I don't like doing this, but I did it after this past game because I just thought it was so blatantly obvious. I hate when after a game people will say, "Oh, this loss is on Howie Roseman because this team sucks," and that's what has happened in years past. Or this team is so great, Howie Roseman gets to be the candidacy for a guy that is like top 5 stars from the game. But I felt like in this game, it was so specific that they needed to address the middle of the defensive line, and they did just that by getting Linval Joseph and getting Ndamukong Suh, and both played in this game, despite Suh only showing up at 11 p.m. Thursday night. And they came up with almost a game-sealing sack, not as close or clutch as Brandon Graham, but pretty close to it. They played for 7 tackles combined, 1 sack combined. They did a hell of a job throughout this game. Howie Roseman was a star for me. I know we'll talk a lot about Jalen Hurts and MVP candidacy. Where is Howie Roseman ranked right now as far as executive of the year, you think?
I think he's up there. I think it's him and Brett Veach from the Kansas City Chiefs, if you want to be honest. So, I mean, think of all the moves Howie Roseman made. Just on the defensive side of the ball, James Bradbury, Hassan Reddick. Now you got Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph to the mix. Kaiser White's an underrated signing. Their draft picks. Jordan Davis, you traded up in the first round to get him. Everybody goes, why are you trading up in the first round for basically a nose tackle? I'm like, because he's that big of a game changer. That's what I've noticed the Eagles did this all season. They got game changers. Hassan Reddick's a game changer. Jordan Davis is a game changer. A.J. Brown's a game changer. They got guys that literally have changed the impact of the game. I mean, hence the term game changer. And Kansas City, this is what I like what they did this year. Okay, we can't pay you Tyreek Hill. Thanks for your service. We love you. We're going to trade you. We're going to get these draft picks. You get George Karlaftis, who's starting to make an impact. You get Trent McDuffie, who's making an impact on that defense. Although he missed a lot of weeks, he's still making an impact there. Okay, we'll sign Juju Smith-Schuster. We'll sign Marquez Valdes-Scantling. We'll get deeper at receiver. Even the in-season moves they're making, like Kadarius Toney. I mean, yeah, he's injured now, but who would have thought Kadarius Toney would make a significant impact on the Chiefs this year? So those are the 2 teams, and ironically, they have the 2 best records in the league.
Yeah, and who's their starting running back now? Banchero?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco, thank you. 7th round draft pick, and he's become their number 1 back. It's incredible what they've been able to do this year. I know we've talked a lot about how it's funny. The defense obviously left a lot to be desired against the Commanders, and the blueprint was supposedly out there, but how he addressed that issue. There's one thing that is puzzling me. And this isn't the time in terms of complain about it because they played so well defensively against the Colts. But what have you heard about Nakobe Dean possibly getting on the field to help this team and this defense play more consistently this season? Anything going on there that maybe isn't all out there in the public just yet? So
back when I was covering training camp with John McMullen, we would talk about this all the time. Me, him, Martin Frank, Bob Groats, a lot of these guys. We noticed he wasn't on the field. He wasn't, second team, third team, whatever. And Jonathan Gannon and basically any coach you talk to, we're us. So, look, we're pretty deep at linebacker. We like the fact that we can develop him and he can be a second team guy. So we're like, okay, he played well in that first preseason game, second preseason game, not as well. And we're like, okay, maybe he's not ready. And then when they start struggling against the run, we're like, maybe they should put in Nakobe Dean a bit, go to 3 linebackers and then that way he could play. I actually like how they're not playing him because I don't think you need to be an impactful player in year 1 to be a good player in the NFL. I know that's the trendy thing now, but it's not like Nakobe Dean was a first-round pick here and you got him on the field. He's a third-round pick. You can develop him. Might be a little undersized, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of Nakobe Dean in this defense this year. Now, next year, again, this all depends on T.J. Edwards. T.J. Edwards, to me, is a stud. I don't know how you not pay him, but there are going to be guys you just don't pay. And maybe he's one of them and say, you know what, we're going to put our trust in Nakobe Dean and we'll re-sign Kaiser White.
Interesting. When it comes to this defense as a whole, I've been having this up and down emotions with Jonathan Gannon. Although the team has been ranked really well defensively speaking. Yeah, sure, they're a team that was the longest undefeated team this year in the NFL. There's not a lot to complain about when it comes to the Eagles, but it seems like there are times where you're still yelling at your TV or yelling at the field that you need Jonathan Gannon to be a little bit more aggressive. What are you making of his now second season as the Eagles defensive coordinator?
He was a guy, I didn't go out of my way to defend him last year, but I was always the but guy. And I'm like, well, what happens when he gets these players? What happens when you get guys that fit his system? Like, no disrespect to Steven Nelson and guys like that. They weren't making the difference here. Like, Steven Nelson was good number 2 quarterback because they didn't have one last year. It was here him or Zach McPherson. Well, they weren't throwing the rookie in there. He wasn't ready. Now you got James Bradbury in there. Now you got Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, Hassan Reddick, guys that fit his system. Kaiser White. You're seeing the results. I mean, last year they were a top 10 defense in points allowed. Everybody goes, well, they face bad quarterbacks. I'm like, that ain't their fault. There are a lot of bad quarterbacks in the NFL. This is what bothers me about – I'm not even saying this about the Eagles fans, about NFL fans in general. They don't watch the league. They watch their team. And then they compare their team to the rest of the league. I'm like, well, what if your team is better than the rest of the league? Well, then they don't play anybody. Or this quarterback stinks. I'm like, but you're not watching him every week. Most weeks this quarterback doesn't stink. He just stinks against your team. Why? Because your team's very good. The Colts, they were such an enigma to me all season long because they couldn't score. They couldn't run the ball, but their defense was a top 10 unit. So we got to say the Eagles offense struggled, or was the Colts defense been good all year? I think it was both. So overall, though, with Jonathan Gannon, they got a top 5 defense in the NFL. Like, it's a better defense than the Chiefs. I think the defense is better right now than the Eagles are. Baltimore, Buffalo, Dallas. That might be it.
That's a short list. I like it when that list is very short. Jeff, let me break this up for a second here. Let me just ask you this question. What do you love in life as much as Nick Sirianni loves Frank Reich?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I asked the hard-hitting questions, Jeff.
I'll tell you what. I got to think about this for a quick second here. Let me think of what I love in life a lot. And I'll tell you what. Diner food. We'll go with that.
Oh my God! Phenomenal answer. What's your go-to?
I would go to bat for diner food.
Diner food. That's amazing. Do you have a go-to meal in mind? Because I can tell you right now, 3 eggs over easy, home fries and scrapple. That's what I got going on right there. That's my favorite.
So my buddy is a big scrapple guy. He'll get scrapple whenever, no matter what he's ordering. It's the one diner we go to. The waiter actually says, we only have 1,000 scrapple, 998 go to you. So, for me, it's always you got to get the soup, right?
Solid
soup of the day, no matter what it is.
Pretty
and
solid.
For me, it's usually a Monte Carlo. I don't know if you ever had them. It's French toast with turkey and bacon in a sandwich with home fries. It's phenomenal.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving to you. Yeah, okay. I swear this is a big thing in my family. If I'm around my dad and his brothers, everything is about a nice little diner. I went to a nice little diner. Had a great soup. Went to a nice little diner. It was only $3. Something like that. It's all about the diner. Big diner. I come from a long line of diner families, believe it or not.
I'll tell you what else I'll go to bat for. Anybody that tells me D'Alessandro's is better than Chubby's, I will pull a Nick Sirianni. I just will. I'll say, why wait in line in the cold when you can go sit at a bar, get a beer, and get a better cheesesteak while you're at it?
This is a fine point. You make a fine point. I've had both. It's been a minute since I've actually had D'Alessandro's. I'm rarely out that way, but yeah, it's been a minute. I'll have to taste test maybe this weekend after, you
gotta have both at the same time. I tell people it's okay to have both, but as long as you admit the other one's better.
The in-laws are going to be in town for Thanksgiving. So maybe this is a nice little tourist destination trip for everybody. So that'll be fun. All right, Jeff, let's move back to those the Eagles right there for a second here and talk about this. I'm a little concerned, and I thought we were past this, and I understand Jalen Hurts running the football well and all that. Do the Eagles forget Miles Sanders is having a career year and choose not to use him at times, or is it just are they out scheming themselves in a way when they don't use Miles Sanders as much as I think that he should be used throughout. For instance, 2 runs by a running back 2 weeks ago against, or 2 games ago, I should say, against the Commanders. You don't really see him get going until the second half of this game against the Colts. What is it that happens with this Eagles game plan where it seems like they forget Miles Sanders exists?
I think they forget any running back exists. It doesn't even matter if it's Miles Sanders. It's weird, right? Because they go to Miles Sanders when I feel like it's the last resort, which should never be the case. I mean, Nick Sirianni wasn't here when Miles Sanders was busting these 70-yard runs and being this Herschel Walker-type player with the Eagles. And now, and he could have had about 2 or 3 70-yard runs on Sunday. If you watch the tape, there were a lot of shoestring tackles in that game. So I don't know why he doesn't go to him as much for a team that likes to run as much as the Eagles do, or at least that's what it's perceived. Last year they did. I don't know. It's weird. Like, if Miles Sanders does, like, I don't want to call it a boneheaded move, but like when he caught that one pass and he went outside, I'm like, dude, you could have went inside, probably got an extra 3 or 4 yards there, maybe even more because you're Miles freaking Sanders. So I don't know. It feels like then they ditch him, then they have Boston Scott run the ball in the last drive, which again, that's another guy I'm not in love with, but I feel like they got to get him the ball more on like screenplays. They got to get the running backs involved more in the passing game. They just don't do it. And it's weird when you're watching like the Chiefs give the ball to Jerick McKinnon and the Ravens trying to force feed Kenyon Drake and the Bills. Even the Bills are trying to get the ball to their running backs. They never do that. So, yeah, that's one thing. I don't mind the Eagles relying on Jalen Hurts as much as they do in the past games as much as they do, but spread the love.
Spread the love around. You mentioned some guys struggling. You mentioned some other teams struggling this season. One team that has been struggling throughout the year. And just when I thought they were getting back on track with their comeback win on the Cowboys, the Packers go right back in the tank against the Titans. They miss a couple of opportunities, especially late in the game, to take advantage and make it even more of a game than what it was. They have an opportunity there on their last 4 possessions. They only averaged 5 plays per possession to try to get back into that game. What has happened to the Packers, and what's your confidence level going into that Sunday night game this far ahead of the Eagles winning another game?
So one thing I've noticed with the Packers all year, they never ran the ball. Again, another team that doesn't run the ball. With Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. They run the ball against the Cowboys, who have a bad run defense, which, by the way, this is why I don't think the Cowboys are – I think they're a Super Bowl contender, but this is why I don't think they can win at all, because they can't stop the run, and they won't fix it. You know what they'll do? They'll sign Odell Beckham because that's a sexy move.
Right.
So that's my issue with the Cowboys. Anyway, but the Packers, they actually committed to running the football against Dallas. Run for 200 yards. They try to do the same against Tennessee. Problem, Tennessee has a really good run defense. So now what? Well, outside of Christian Watson, who looks like he's going to be a player, they don't have anybody. Romeo Doubs is hurt. Randall Cobb came back, but it's Randall Cobb. Like, I know he's one of Aaron Rodgers' guys. Robert Tonyan hasn't been healthy all year. The offensive line's been banged up. And I just think they try to throw the ball a little too much. I don't know if that's Aaron Rodgers doing it or if that's Matt LaFleur doing it. It's just weird how they trade Devonta Adams, and it's not working with the Raiders. Now, Adams is still having a good year, but it's not working with the Raiders. Nathaniel Hackett, who's a terrible head coach, goes to Denver. Doesn't work. So, and Luke Getsy's gone. He's in Chicago. It seems to be working with Justin Fields there. It feels like they had too many losses to actually be the team that they've been the last couple years. And Aaron Rodgers is 38 years old. You're going to see it Sunday. You're going to be like, what is going on with this football team? And they'll look great for like a possession or two. And then it's weird. It's almost like a Cliff Kingsbury effect. They just go away. They get Thanos snapped. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it is. And one thing that I thought, not just the run game that they corrected, but I thought Aaron Rodgers had finally found a consistent target, at least in Watson, and what he was able to do over the last – he got 5 touchdowns in his last 2 games, caught both touchdowns last week against the Titans. I thought, okay, maybe they're righting the ship. Maybe this is the time where that Aaron Rodgers relax comment kicks in, and this is where he takes over. But I am just not seeing – I'll tell you right now, I got the Eagles winning Sunday night. How confident are you they'll come away with that victory?
I think Eagles will win too. Obviously you got to stop Christian Watson. You got to stop the run. You got to stop Aaron Jones. You got to stop A.J. Dillon. But that's why you run the Linval Joseph and the Ndamukong Suh. And now they're actually going to have a week of practice. It's not going to be a remember the Titans situation.
Right.
I can't. I have practice with defense. Well, all I'm asking you is cover one guy, and then we'll put this one away. And I'm like, I think that's literally what they told the Dominican Sue to do on Sunday. But now they got a week with the defense. So, I think the Eagles win. They're debuting the black helmets. It's a Sunday night football game. Every game's important for this team right now. And with their schedule coming up, I feel like you can't have a letdown game. I think they have that. I think they win. I'm not going to say they win convincingly, but I do think that they get out to a fast start and they kind of just hold on for the win.
All right, I'll take something where we're comfortable going into the fourth quarter. That's what I'd like to see in this game, and I think the Eagles are going to get it. Jeff, I know you got a show to get ready for. I'll be joining you on your show, as you mentioned, the old TGIF crossover there. We got Perfect Strangers coming up with Family Matters. But I'm a Perfect Strangers guy. But anyway, but I look forward to having.
Hold on, I gotta ask you though.
Yeah.
What is it about Perfect Strangers over Family Matters? Is it the theme song?
It's just saying the name Balki Bartakamus. It's like Steve Urkel is fun to say, but Balki Bartakamus from Mypos is it just says home. And the theme song is spectacular. I think maybe that and Golden Girls, the two greatest theme songs in the history of television ever. But Standing Tall on the Wings of Our Dreams. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Wait, did you ever see the Goldbergs where they mock Perfect Strangers?
No.
Oh, what? Yeah. It's
what?
Awesome. So they bring in, it's season 6. I think it's episode 17. I'm a big Goldbergs fan. So
okay.
They bring in like their Greek cousin, right? And they take him through Philadelphia and they think he's an idiot, right? So they're doing like the Perfect Strangers stuff where they're like trying to push like through the wind and all that. Like they're trying to, and he goes, "What do you guys think? I'm an idiot or something? I've seen Perfect Strangers."
Sometimes the world needs changing. All right. Anyway, Jeff, thanks so much, man. I'll talk to you in like 40 minutes so you guys can catch us again on Jeff's show. Good Morning NFC. So appreciate it on the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Also, make sure you're always reading Jeff's stuff. I'll give you his Twitter handle one more time up here so you guys can check him out. Always read his stuff. Always has great stuff on the birds. Fun facts like this at Jeff Kerr. That's Kerr. As you can tell, the family resembles him and Steve Kerr at CBS right there as well. Jeff, thanks so much.
Coaches, by the way.
Wait, what was that?
Both basketball coaches, by the way.
There we go. Jeff, thanks so much, brother.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Talk to you in a few, my friend. We just can't get enough of each other. We just can't get enough of each other. Jeff Kerr joining us right there from Jacob Media as well as CBS Sports. Great to catch up with Jeff as well. Let me tell you about the great people of Manscaped and Manscaped.com. Go to Manscaped.com right now. Use promo code Farzy at Manscaped.com for 20% off as well as free shipping at Manscaped.com. Enjoy the Platinum Package 4.0 that includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer as well as the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. And they both come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. Join 4 million men worldwide who chose Manscaped and trust Manscaped for skin-safe technology. Go to manscaped.com, promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping. How about the people at Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. You like CBD? Do you use CBD? Do you want to try CBD? Freestone Farm CBD is what you need to hit up. Go to FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy. That's promo code Farzy at FreestoneFarmCBD.com for 20% off your order. They have insane tropical tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Genetics of these guys are off the charts. So enjoy. Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. How about the people at PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsStation.com. How about the Mojo app available in New Jersey right now? Each player has a share price attached to him in the NFL. 300 skilled position players, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, all right there on the Mojo app. Download the Mojo app to your phone right now. Available in New Jersey. Must be in New Jersey to trade on Mojo. Have a player that you think is about to break out? Buy them low, sell them high, make some money for yourself on the Mojo app. Download the Mojo app to your phone right now. Available in New Jersey. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Before I get to the chat check today, I do want to remind the good people, a couple of you guys have already hit me up, but we are having the Farzy Show party. It's going to be a Farzy Show party Wednesday night. Hit me up on social media. Hit me up on the links. I'll send you a link. Hit me up. Some of you have done it. April, you've done it. My man Ari has done it. Hit me up on social media. I'll send you a link, and you guys can jump on the show. We're going to do it 8 o'clock this Wednesday night. 8 o'clock this Wednesday night. We're going to go for about an hour. I don't know however long. I got one nice little guest that's going to drop in, have a nice little toast with us. And we will be having, I will be drinking. I'm going to tell you right now, I will be drinking. I am going to have a drink with you guys. Maybe more. It will most likely be Jack Daniels. If you would like to have a drink with us, you'd like to have a beer with us, whatever, and you want to join the Farzy Show for the Farzy Show party for Thanksgiving Wednesday night, the biggest party night of the year, hit me up on social media. I'll send you a link. You can drop in. We can talk some sports. You guys can ask me anything you want to ask. We'll have some fun. No big whoop. We'll just have ourselves a good time. So make sure you guys hit me up. It's going to be 8 o'clock Wednesday night Farzy Show party. All the chat checkers, all the listeners, all the podcast people that listen, all the people that watch on YouTube, hit me up on social media. Shoot me a DM, and I'll get you guys a link, and we can all party together as one big happy Farzy Show party family. Before I get to the chat check, I wanted to mention that, and I also wanted to mention this. As I said at the top of the show, Ben Simmons is making his return to Philadelphia tonight. I didn't see this till after the show yesterday, so mi scusi on that, but I wanted to make sure you guys seen this. This is Ben Simmons when he was asked about his possible return to Philly.
Is there any chance in your mind that maybe enough time has passed that it won't be so bad? It'll be in Philly? Come on now. I know it's coming.
I like the fact that Ben Simmons couldn't even keep a straight face, and that the reporter, once he saw the face, was like, "Yep, no, I don't understand, but I just need you to talk about it so I can put the quote in the article." Like, that's it. Ben Simmons knows what's coming, and you know what? I give Ben credit. He doesn't go, walk the line or anything like that. Well, Philly's a great city and a great fan. Blah, blah, blah. No, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get it." Philly is gonna put me over their knee, and they are going to spank me. That is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one when it comes to Ben Simmons making his return to South Philadelphia. By the way, I know a lot of people were really excited about Ben Simmons' 22 points. I alluded to this yesterday. This was his shot. This was his shot chart. Now, you see all those black dots right there in the paint? That's where Ben Simmons was shooting, hence shot chart. See that one black dot outside the paint? That's a miracle. That's amazing that Ben Simmons actually had a shot outside the paint. He's attempted a three this year, and it wasn't a half-court three, by the way. It wasn't a half-court three. It was a heave. It was 31 feet. It was a heave. But it was he missed it, for the record. Just to play spoiler right there. But that was his shot chart in the 22 games, or the 22-point game that he had against the Grizzlies, I want to say. So Ben's back. Ben's back tonight, baby. Ben's back tonight. Let's jump into the chat. Oh, PJ's off today, by the way. So guess what I can do? Wah, wah. I can. Hold on. Now it's not working. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh, wait, come on. Who's leading us off for a second? April! Morning, fam. Morning, April. That's right. I can put your comments up today. Oates. What's up, Oates? I heard Goddard can come back soon. He can come back soon. Not soon enough. Kevin. What's up, Kevin? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. That's cool. Everyone. Sean wants to say hello. Sean saying hello. Pointed out 1,000% he had no plans of meeting with the media. Oh. April, this is my conspiracy theory that Doc was in on it. And the only thing that shot that conspiracy theory down was in recent interviews since Ben Simmons has done a little media tour. He talked about that practice and still threw Doc under the bus. So I would assume if Doc and him were in cahoots about Ben not addressing the media, then it would have come out in some way, shape, or form. But hey, it was a conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy theory. Let's see here. Sean, Frank Reich would have beat us is the crazy thing. Go Ursay. I don't think you're that necessarily that wrong. What is going on here? Dan Schwartz, what's up, Dan? Hey, everybody, good morning. Happy to be here. Nice to have you. I'll be painting an old tagged up McDonald's at Broad and Girard. I know that McDonald's. You will all be in my heart, especially PJ. While I do that, Simmons sucks. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. While you're there, would you mind getting me a double quarter pounder? Double quarter pounder, large with a Dr. Pepper. By the way, McDonald's serving a Dr. Pepper. I know it's just cherry Coke or cherry Pepsi or whatever, wild cherry Pepsi, but it's delicious. I had my one McDonald's or my one fast food for 2 months the other day when I was going down AC for the Jake Media pregame show. And I was like, I'm not going to have any time to eat. I better eat now. It was like one of those situations where I had to like convince myself, like, yo, no, this is totally fine. You can totally eat McDonald's. Totally fine. I love those moments of I eat the McDonald's and then I immediately hate myself. I'm like so excited, so revved up for it, and I eat it, and then like in 2 seconds it's all gone, and I'm like, oh, you fat bastard, why'd you do that to yourself? As I sip the remnants of my Dr. Pepper. Delicious. The salt of the fries still on my face. Anyway. And wish Sarah. There was having here. Oh, and wish Sirianni would talk more at a press conference. Only 7 minutes to answer one question. Come on, and thanks, April. Oh, yeah. April said stay warm out, though. That's nice. I like when you guys are so kind to each other. It's beautiful. I preach kindness, except when I say mean things about athletes. But, yeah. Yeah. Nick Sirianni, he liked to talk. Here's this one thing. I will say that watching yesterday's press conference, Ruben Frank had a couple of great lines. Joe today, everyone saying hello. Meetings, blah, blah, wah, wah, blah, blah. You are fortunate, Farzi. This is true. I am fortunate. Everyone's saying good morning. Mally! I'll just put Mally up here. April! There's Mally. Just what I see every morning, guys. Mally. Good morning, people. Smoke them if you got them. There you go. Morning, Alyssa. Good morning, Alyssa. Dan Schwartz. Now I'd have to go with Mahomes only because he is playing with scrubs and hasn't missed a beat. Jalen right there behind him. Yeah, probably. But like he's playing with scrubs, he just keeps throwing to Travis Kelce. I mean, that's a pretty easy thing. Everyone's saying cool stuff. Everyone's being really nice and supportive. That's beautiful. Mihai Sanchez, what's up, Mihai? Good morning, everyone. As an Eagles fan, go Giants on Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think in the early goings of this, you gotta pull for the Giants. Eagles still have the 2 remaining games left against the Giants. The Cowboys have already beaten the Giants once this season. They played in week 3. That was the game where CeeDee Lamb had that incredible one-handed catch in the 8 minutes in the fourth quarter and ended up being the difference in the game. So the Cowboys won that matchup. So hopefully they sweep the Giants. The only thing is, though, the Cowboys, last I checked, were 6-point favorites, 9-point favorites. And the thing for that game is that the Cowboys played on the road for a 4:25 kickoff against the Vikings, travel back to Dallas. It's not as bad as obviously a Sunday night game, but it's a short rest type of situation, shorter than the Giants, who were at least at home for that loss against the Lions. They're coming off a loss against the Lions, where Saquon Barkley only rushed for 22 yards. He averaged 1.47 yards per carry, the 4th lowest yards per carry in his career. He had a bad game. The offensive line of the Giants is extremely banged up. They didn't practice yesterday, a lot of them, including their starting center and their starting right tackle. So the Giants come into this game pretty banged up. So it looks like an even playing field. So, yeah, that's a bit of a tough one. But I think the Giants will still give them a run for their money. Everyone's being nice again, saying hi. Dan Schwartz, Scrapple needs to be extra well done. The corners are the best part. Oh, Dan. You ain't kidding, brother. Love that. Wait, Chubby's is on Grubhub? Their cheesesteaks and hoagies are incredible. I agree. Don't feel like standing in line at Del Santos. Must try them eventually. I really enjoy Chubby's. I've had Chubby's. They're great. My wife really likes Chubby's. She's a big Chubby's person. Farzy drunk. I have to see this. Sean, I could have drinks without being drunk. To quote my friend though, Big Daddy Graham, the late great Big Daddy Graham, I don't drink casually. I only drink to get drunk. I can drink casually. Could be liquor, could be wine. Depends on how the day goes at work. April, hey, whatever you want to bring to the table. Whatever you want to bring to the table. It's a drink of your choice. And if you do want to join us and don't want to drink alcohol, judgment-free zone. You do you. You know why? I don't know if you're a drinker. I don't know if you even like alcohol. I don't know if you even should have alcohol. I am not judging you. You do you. If I say what you're drinking and you say you're polishing off a Dr. Pepper from McDonald's as you just had a great meal and now regret it, then, hey, you know what? Good for you. I don't judge. There will be no drink shaming. No drink shaming on the Farzy Show party. Yeah, see? The only thing Ben is honest about, the Sixers better win this game. The only thing Ben is that's true. Oh, yeah, that's right, April. I'm pushing the buttons. Oh, T-Bro, you sent me a DM on the gram? By the way, send it to my personal stuff. Don't send it to the show stuff. That's T-Bro, thanks for hitting me up there. Send me on Mark Farzetta on Twitter, Mark Farzetta on the old IG. I think it's Mark.Farzetta on Instagram. But yeah, send to my personal stuff, not the show stuff. But T-Bro, I'll definitely send you an invite. Hold on. Show note. T-Bro. Invite. All right, there you go. No quarter pounder. No double quarter pounder. Might be able to get you a lettuce sandwich on 2 buns. It's soaked, though. And I have to take it from a bum. He won't mind. That's great. Wait, it's all smoke-free zone on Wednesday? Wait, it's a smoke-free Wednesday? Just kidding. You know, I'll be blazing. Hey, you know what? Whatever you want to do. I don't tell other people how to live their lives. You live your life. Whatever makes you happy. I believe in these words. Ladies and gentlemen, ready for this? The pursuit of happiness. Boom. That's right. The pursuit of happiness. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Dan, you going to hit me up and let me know? All right. Mally be playing. Yeah, feel free to hit me up, guys. Appreciate you. That's everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys as per usual. All right, let's get into the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Sixers, Nets battle tonight, 7:30, South Philadelphia. The Nets coming to town, 8-9 on the season. Sixers, 8-8 on the year. Sixers will be without Joel Embiid, missing the back-to-back. Then Tyrese Maxey is still out. James Harden is still out. Tobias Harris likely out. Tobias Harris's name being mentioned in trade rumors again. He's not giving you much. He can give another team with less talent a lot more. It only makes sense, and this is coming from a Tobias Harris fan. A big fan of Tobias Harris. Sixers, by the way, are 7-point underdogs tonight against the Nets. So that kind of hurts. It hurts a lot. Over-under on the game is 217.5 going into tonight. Flyers, ladies and gentlemen. What did I say yesterday? They were trying to avoid their 7th straight loss. Well, they did not avoid their 7th straight loss. They lost at home to the Calgary Flames. They lost 5-2 last night. It was a tough one. It was a tough one for the Flyers. They trailed 3-1 after 2 and really couldn't get anything really going after that. It was it's gonna. The year that I thought was going to play out is going to play out. You have a guy like John Tortorella who's going to give you some great quotes. Going to give you that. But as far as the actual team went, no bueno. Carter Hart was in net for the Flyers last night, made 25 saves on 28 shots. That's the way that went. Flyers now are back at it not tonight, but tomorrow night when they travel to DC to take on the Capitals for a 7:30 puck drop. That game will be on TNT. Flyers drop to 7-8-4 on the season. No bueno. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. That's the Farzy Show. I hope Jim had a fine day off on this Tuesday morning. Once again, hit me up if you want to be part of the Farzy Show party coming up on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. We're going to get that underway. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is the Farzy Show presented by my man Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy.